They had no choice but to admit it. Even on CNN, even people like Anderson Cooper, even some of the most partisan left wing had to grudgingly admit this was a good day yesterday for Donald Trump. Give me number 26 as we start with CNN's global affairs analyst.
Momentous day. There's not much good news in the world. This is great news. I am trying to hold it together, honestly. I've worked on this issue a very long time.
To hold it together. Now, Anderson couldn't have liked to hear that. Over there at ABC, their chief foreign correspondent, Ian Pannell, had this to say at number 27.
Make no mistake, it looks like President Trump has actually pulled off something here that many presidents before him have failed to do.
That's ABC. So we've heard from CNN and ABC. What's going on over at NBC? Number 28, if you please, Paulie.
This is a major accomplishment for President Trump, something that he's been really trying to work toward. There's been a lot of critics and questioning of whether or not he could pull off sort of negotiating and working to try to get all these sides together. Of course, there were a lot of nations involved. So this is, of course, not just a victory for President Trump, but really a number of Arab nations, Hamas, and, of course, Israel. But this is really huge news, and the president, of course, announcing it online.
Damn it! So we're 3 for 3. Let's try over there at News Nation. Chris Cuomo's house, number 29.
Donald Trump on this one has demonstrated a degree of will unlike any other president, Republican or Democrat. He has pressed an Israeli prime minister in a way that none of his predecessors have ever done, on an issue that prime minister considers vital to his political survival and the way he would define Israeli security requirements. So on this one, Chris, the sun, the moon, and the stars, Hamas is weaker. The Arabs impose significant pressure, Qataris and Turks, not an Arab country, a Muslim country, and Donald Trump. Sun, the moon, and the stars aligned to be able to envision an implementation of the first phase. And from a human point of view, Chris, that's really right now, hostages, their families, and Palestinian civilians in Gaza, it offers real hope.
Cuomo looked a little sullen there. So it was all across the board, nothing but smiles, thumbs ups, and admissions that this was huge. A huge day yesterday. And President Trump's the guy at the center of it all that you can't get around it. He did something that wasn't thought achievable, frankly. So what do we have here amid this sharp increase of global anti-Semitism and escalating tension? In the Middle East, President Trump manages to unveil a peace plan. Phase 1, anyway. You don't want to get ahead of yourselves. This is like a 20-point plan. But again, it underscores a couple of really important things. The release of 48 remaining hostages within the next 72 hours. It ensures that Israel pulls back to secure borders only, completely disarms and sidelines Hamas at the same time, and eliminates breathing room for terrorism. That unto itself is an enormous accomplishment if nothing else is accomplished. This is the beginning, I mind you, of a 20-point blueprint. So we're just at the beginning. But the difference is this time, remember Trump's Middle East junket earlier in the year? He's now established a coalition of Saudi Arabia, UAE, Jordan, Turkey, Pakistan, they say even Iran signed off on this to a degree, which they must have if Hamas did. This is a transformative framework of accountability. It ensures that Hamas can no longer manipulate the situation. The goal is to try to rebuild Gaza into a terror-free environment, trying to create opportunities which Palestinians in theory would lead, and remaining clear of radical influence because some of these more moderate Arab countries will come in and supervise. Now, as for anti-Semitism all over the world, hopefully we will see a pause in it at least, or maybe it will diminish and cool. if these core issues of land and pride and survival and all of that stuff, shared economic interest, defined borders, if that's what comes of this, then maybe we will see the rancid hate that we've been seeing cool down. This is a strategically brilliant design by Trump, and it's all in the careful connections he's forged. This is not a guy that's just mediated between Israel and Hamas. He brought together something like 8 nations in the Middle East, making it entirely more difficult for any of them to betray the agreement, by the way. Qatar and Egypt are expected to actively participate in enforcing deadlines, which Trump is uniquely managing, controlling terror funding, that remains in place as well indefinitely. So previous administrations like Obama, who basically engineered this kind of chaos, operating with hidden agendas and in closed circles, President Trump is actually constructing lasting alliances. That's what this is now the brilliance of Donald Trump's entire strategy, his Middle East swing early in the year, coming home to roost. When people poo-pooed that and said it was distasteful and they didn't like how friendly and the overtures he was extending and all the speech, I might have to go back and dig out Trump's comments at I think it was a Saudi event or UAE event where he said the days of the United States coming in and telling you guys how to do your business are over. Remember, I pointed to that earlier in the year as one of the most significant moments. Trump was saying to the Arab world, we're not here to tell you what to do. We're not here to run you out of town. He's gotten on the phone with Benjamin Netanyahu and he said, listen, I can get these guys to calm down. I can get these guys to even rein in Hamas a little bit, but you're going to have to give a bit and you're going to have to peel back. And he got Netanyahu to do it. Trump is constructing lasting alliances here. One step at a time, 1-point plan at a time in the 22-point plan. This is just phase 1. It's just the beginning. But the reality is peace is not just talk now. It's not just merely a hope. It's a well-structured plan. This is a generational deal maker we're watching. I've called him the peace president before here. This is something most of us never thought we'd see. That you could actually find a guy who could not just talk. This is not just a pretend get-together between Israel and Hamas. This is bringing in and forging real, lasting alliances. Huge. Donald Trump is a generational deal maker. And this paves the way for, and again, you never want to get ahead of yourself. This is a volatile region, and the hatred is entrenched and it runs deep. But if Trump can make a convincing argument that it is in these people's best interests, both for security and economic stability, national pride, whatever, he's actually paving a way for a real comprehensive resolution. Now, there will still be holdouts, of course, like Jake Tapper, who refuses to celebrate this. Old Jake thinks this is really not all that great because, after all, there's not a Palestinian state yet, and that's what all the anti-Semites want. They want to give Hamas their own state. Here's Jake. There's got to be one in every party. Jake's over there sneering, leaning on the wall. Damn it, I don't want to be happy. I know ABC and NBC and C. I know what Stigall just played, but I'm going to stand over here and grouse anyway. This isn't that big a deal, says Jake. Number 30 here, Paul.
Pointing out, this is a ceasefire deal, right? This is not a larger peace deal about a Palestinian state of any sort and who gets to rule a Palestinian state and Israel gets security guarantees, how, and all that. That is still TBD, right?
I mean, yes, but, because the yes, but part of that is that, yes, this is the first phase of this deal where the two key parts of that was a ceasefire and the release of the hostages and also the release of Palestinian prisoners that are being held in Israel.
Even Caitlin Collins, who really hates Trump, too. She said, yeah, Jake, this is kind of a big deal, though. Yeah, well, I mean, really, it's just kind of the... Even Caitlin, Jake, I know you hate the guy, but this is a pretty big deal, she has to admit. All right, so President Trump posting on Truth Social, I'm very proud to announce Israel and Hamas have both signed off on the first phase of our peace deal. That means all the hostages will be released very soon. Israel will withdraw their troops to an agreed-upon line. And the first step toward a strong, durable, everlasting peace begins. All parties will be treated fairly. This is a great day for the Arab Muslim world, Israel, and surrounding nations. The United States of America, and we thank the mediators in Qatar, Egypt, and Turkey who worked with us to make historic, unprecedented event happen. Blessed are the peacemakers. He's headed to Jerusalem on Sunday. Amen.
The Chris Stigall Show podcast.